Alright, today we're talking about the Aurora A5. This is a really affordable keychain light. They run about $38 to $44 depending on where you're going and which specific version you get. Basically, there's no more excuses not to have a bright light in your pocket. Alright, so here's my keychain. Here we got some different keys and stuff that I carry in my pocket all the time. And I put it on a little quick detach clip. Basically, you don't know where you're going to use it, and it's handy to take it on and off with this, and I've used this for different things. A good comparison I used to carry a lot was the Surefire Sidekick, which is noticeably bigger. It's thicker, wider, it's bigger in every sense of it. Just for comparison purposes, you can see it's a lot wider, and it's also heavier as well. Here's a standard Ford key fob, just for comparison, so it's pretty good size. Now, it also has the button on the side like the Aurora, but a little bit different interface. So first off, to get into the numbers, the Aurora A5 has 550 lumens on high, can run about 38 minutes on that. It does ramp down after a few minutes, so it doesn't stay 550 for the entire 38 minutes. It can run on medium, which is 230 lumens for 55 minutes, and then on low, which is 15 lumens, which a lot of these the super low ones, it's hard to tell, but for like 18 minutes, so 180 minutes. So most of your little quick task stuff in the dark, low or medium will be perfectly fine. Just for comparisons, the Sidekick is basically looks about the same, medium versus, a high versus a medium of the A5. What you will notice though is a lot more runtime. Obviously the battery in the Sidekick is 2 or 3 times bigger. So if you need something on your keychain that'll run an hour or multiple hours, especially on like medium or low, then the Surefire all day long. For my purposes, I carry this in my pocket, don't use it all that often, then I'd rather have something that I'm more likely to have on me all the time versus a light that I'm using a lot. So it's all about a give and take. So even on the low settings, it'll run up to 45 hours. So there's a lot more technology and battery management in the Surefire, which obviously up until recently, the Surefire was 2 or 3 times more expensive. Now they're comparable. They're like $29, but that's only the last couple of weeks that they've dropped the price on those. On their website, you can see here, like I said, it's right now they're running about $30 plus shipping on the Surefire website. They have another model. If you do have a Sidekick, though, they have released a pocket clip, which is kind of cool. They give you another option to carry the Sidekick if you are a user. That was another thing they recently released. They also have another one which is almost the same size. It's a little bit bigger, but getting a little bit closer to the size of the Aurora, which is their Titan. Now the Titan Plus is still 300 lumens, 75 on medium, 15. A little bit different run time, and it also runs on a AAA battery, so it's a little bit bigger than a AAA battery, but it's $100. And I'm telling you, if you're going to spend $100 on a pocket light or a Surefire light, for me, it's going to be the Stiletto. A lot better runtime, a lot more functionality. It's a lot better way to spend $100 in my opinion, especially with the Stiletto Pro coming out that I think is nearly 1,000 lumens. So if you're going to spend $100, I don't see any reason to gotta go in that middle ground, but just my 2 cents. So as far as the Auroras go, you got a lot of different options. They have different finishes, different types of material. For my purposes, I don't really care about the color of it or metal. Plastic's fine. And it also has the nice option of it being translucent. So it means it glows. You can actually hit it with a light. And you'll see in our demonstration that as we're using the light, the whole body will glow long after. They say it'll last up to like 8 hours of glowing. So once again, just an added feature on top of everything else. It has options for side lighting, like a reading light for red, white. The newer models also have blue and ultraviolet. On the interface, you basically have your primary, which I really like this too. You hold and it stays on full brightness. That's it. If you want constant on, you double click and that starts off at low. So I like that because if I just grab it and squeeze it, I want all the lights I got. Now, if I have the time to use it for like looking for something, I double click, it starts on low, and then you can ramp it up through low, medium, high, and it also has a strobe. And anytime you want to turn it off, you press and hold for at least half a second, and it'll turn it on. All right, it will turn it off. The side light, it varies on which model you get. Typically, you triple click, and that'll turn on the little side reading lamp, almost like a headlamp or a kind of a floodlight. It's not super bright. More than anything, you can set the light kind of like you see it now with bezel down, triple click it, and then it'll give you some light to shine into the area, which is a nice feature. Also, on the some other ones, you can get like a red light or a blue light if you're doing something like trying to preserve your night vision, or medically wise, looking for veins or blood, and maybe you want something like a blue light. And ultimately, I went with a UV version so that, like I said, I work in law enforcement. If I want a UV light to check for, probably not going to be powerful enough for trace evidence, but to check like bills, if I think they're counterfeit, or IDs, it's enough to show those ultraviolet features on, security features on like IDs and currencies and stuff like that. As far as charging goes, it's one thing I really like about the Aurora is it has a simple charging port. It's a USB, micro USB one. I can't remember which one it is. It's an A or C or whatever, but it's one of the smaller ones. It has a little plug on there to keep the water out of it. The best thing about it, though, it has an indicator light that changes color when it's charging. I can't, and this is really me. I'm partially colorblind. I have a hard time. Those tiny little LEDs that are changing from green to yellow to red or amber or whatever, I have trouble telling those colors apart. And that's just me. Well, some people do, some people don't. But I love this one because it's a big bright LED. It's red when it's charging, and when it's done charging, it's bright blue. There's no way to mistake it. It's really easy to tell when it's charging and when it's done. And supposedly it only takes 45 minutes to completely charge it when it's dead. All right, so outside here, you can see we got this is the Surefire on high. And then we'll kick on the Aurora, which is going to be noticeably brighter. It actually takes a while for the camera to adjust here, but it is noticeably brighter than the Surefire. Now, as far as the pattern and throw and spill and all that, these are mainly floodlights. They don't have a lot, neither one of these have a lot of throw, but they do put a lot of light out, especially the Aurora. You can see, like there's a medium setting there, or the low setting, medium, and then high. And you can see here we have it going in low mode here. It still puts out quite a bit of light. That tree out there, even on medium, the tree's about 35, 40 yards away, and with the strobe mode there. And if you'll notice here, down on the body of the light, it's already glowing just from the light being activated. So there's a side light right there, and we turn that back off, and you see the body will glow for many hours after it's been charged by either itself or another light. Now, you'll notice the very first picture on this review is this picture of it in my hand. The reason I bring this out is the way it's designed. It is round, but the two sides, where the back side and the front side where the button are flattened. So you can literally, without even really thinking about it, roll it through your fingers, and it'll naturally fall in that position where you either have the button on the top or the bottom. So all you have to do is squeeze, and boom, it activates the light. So you can it's a nice kind of weapons light style operation here. You can put it in your support hand in between any of your fingers, just squeeze, and boom, the light comes on, full brightness. It's really hard to do that with the Sidekick. I mean, you can if you really bear down on it, but then again, you need to change the mode around, or you're going to have to cycle through modes. I have trouble doing it with any other than my index finger, so not real ideal for it. It's just a little bit too big. Now you can see here, just demonstrating, I have it in my pinky here. I'm doing this left-handed, so it's a little awkward, but press out, boom, squeeze the light, and it automatically comes on. Super easy. What I really think this light is for is really concealed carry, especially when guys are trying to do that minimalist carry, and lots of times a flashlight is one of the things that goes. So see, it's just, there's no reason to. We can still incorporate a flashlight and still be able to incorporate it with our weapon. So overall, I think this is a great option for people that want to do the kind of minimalist carry, that don't want to carry large flashlights are another thing on their EDC, or just as a backup. As I'm doing this podcast, I have some more of a duty setup on. I have a weapon light mounted. I have a full-size flashlight on my belt, and I also have this one in my pocket. So it's nice to have backups. But like I said, right now, as the date of this purchase, you can see I got mine in April. $37.94, prime shipping right to your door. Some of the different models cost a little bit more, but there's really no excuse to not have a flashlight at this point. It's too easy, too small, and it's really not all that expensive to purchase. So, a couple hours to run. If you have any comments or questions, hit us up on the Tactical Podcast on Facebook. Coming up next soon, we're going to have an interview with the NWA Prepper. So that's going to be coming soon. Really interesting, be a fun podcast. He's a good guy, and we're talking about some prepping stuff. So thanks for your time. Bye-bye.